I'm Justin Young, and this is the Just a Minute podcast from Dallas, Texas. It just finished up a great day at the Scrimmage presented by my friend Kellen Buffington of TB5 Reports. And where do I even begin? There's so much to see, so much to take in, tons of players, 5 courts going on at one time, over 50 of the best high school teams in the state of Texas, as well as Sunrise and Link Academies, 2 of the best basketball powerhouses in the nation. Man, a lot to go through, but I got a belly full of brisket, a pretty good wrap-up of college football, and now it is time to dive into the notes. Where do we start? Where do we begin? Well, let's start with the main thing. The main thing today was the matchup between 2 of the top 10 teams in the country. My good friend Ron Flores from Ball is Life released his preseason rankings, and here we had number 2 overall Sunrise taking on the host school, number 8 Duncanville. Now, you got to understand, there's a little history here. Both of these teams always start the season against each other on this platform. And last year, it was Duncanville that took the win, but it was Sunrise that took the season. So it was a really good opportunity to see both of these teams go back at it again. And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, this game came down to the very final seconds. And once again, it was Duncanville that proved to be victorious. Fresh off a commitment to the University of Texas, it was none other than Ron Holland, who got the offensive rebound, put back and score with 1.3 seconds left to play. And that was it. Ultimately, that was the game. It was a 1-point game and really a tremendous back-and-forth matchup. Ron Holland was tremendous, really, really, really good. I mean, that darn right elite high school player, over 20 points, rebounded really well, shot the ball really well, was a presence throughout. And it was a matchup with none other than Buzelis of Sunrise. And I thought, Buzelis, he's going to go play for G League Unite. He's going to go take the Scoot Henderson route after he gets done with his high school career. And, man, I got to be honest with you, I thought Matas was the very best player that I saw today from a big picture standpoint. But that's not to shortchange what Ron Holland did. Ron Holland was a tremendous, tremendous player, and he has been at this elite level. He's been a gold medalist with USA Basketball. Certainly a guy that's recruited by only the Blue Bloods, and finished it off today with a pledge to Texas right before the early signing period, the first and important commitment of the Longhorns 2023 class. But again, let's go back to Buzelis. Man, 6'10", shot the ball, rebounded the ball, passed the ball, made plays, played around the rim, dunked on dudes, yoked all over him. I'm sure the Mixtape Mafia got you covered. Go over to YouTube and search what he did here at the Scrimmage. You'll see some great plays, no doubt about it. Baller TV was live streaming, so maybe you can find some stuff there too. But I thought Buzelis was the dude today, honestly. We have him number 9 overall in the class of 2023. It's too low. It's too low. So I was looking at it. Who do we move up? Who do we move down? I've got to make some decisions, and I'll probably do that after we do the early signing period coverage this week on HoopSeen.com. But certainly gave me a lot to think about long-term about where he is. I think he's no doubt about it, a tremendous pro prospect, and we saw a lot of those pieces today. Again, so Sunrise goes down, Duncanville goes up. Does that change anything with preseason rankings? I don't know. I don't really like preseason rankings. I don't really know if it helps, but they seeing these games up close and personal, and certainly seeing Duncanville on their home court take a last-second shot victory. I know they'll take that going into the season. So a lot to think about from that matchup. But to me, that was the main thing of the day, was Ron Holland's dominance in the win, but overall experience of what Buzelis brought to the table. That was my storyline number 1. Storyline number 2 for me was Tre Johnson of Lake Highlands. I got to wonder, we see him being number 1 overall in the 24/7 rankings, Rivals.com rankings. We have Tre listed in our top 5. We don't really have a great feel for it yet because we really want to give it some good thought. And I don't know if this class of 24 has a definitive dude. So I want to see Tre Johnson in person. And, man, I tell you a couple things. One, I really love this Lake Highlands team. They're very fun to watch. They guard. They're invested in each other's success. Just a tremendous high school team. No doubt about it. I think they're ranked what do I have it down? Number 34. Is that right? Yeah, number 34 by Ron Flores in Ball is Life preseason top 50 national rankings. I think that's fair. I think Lake Highlands, they certainly gave everybody a run. They played today. They played the prep schools and really gave it some things to think about. And, with Tre Johnson, great feel, no question about it. Great shooter, great scorer, great pace, knows when to step on the brake, knows when to step on the accelerator, knows when to stay moderate. I just don't know for me, I need to see more there to really make sure I can put the crown on there. Obviously, everybody else that has those national rankings had a much better feel for that. This was a really good opportunity for me to see him again. And it made me wonder, okay, well, who does he remind me of? And I left that for the conversation for the Peanut Gallery. Had some great conversations today about where he stacks up with the great players that we've seen from the state of Texas, other great guards. I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey guy and asked, where does he stack up with where Tyrese Maxey was? I think the consensus opinion was that Maxey was way better at this stage of the game, which is interesting because Maxey was not the number 2 or number 1 overall player in his entire national class. So is that a combination of things? How good is the national class in 2024? Okay. And then do we have Tyrese Maxey currently experiencing some recency bias? Maybe that as well. So then I beg the question again, even deeper, then who then does Tre Johnson remind me of? Came up with a number of answers. One, I think he's really good in the mid-range, okay? And so that made me think about different players in the NBA. I wrote down some names here. Let's kind of dig through these. Let's do this. For me, I wrote Jamal Murray. I think there's some Jamal Murray in there. Good pace, good score, good combo guard with size. I like some Devin Booker. Obviously, I'm a little biased. Well, you can't see my hoodie, but I see a lot of Phoenix Suns action. I live out in Phoenix and have some connections to the team, so I'm invested in watching them quite a bit. In mid-range, no doubt about it, Devin Booker, elite. And I think we've seen a lot of that with Tre Johnson as well. We saw that today. And the last one I came up with was Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday, when I was ranking for Rivals in the mid-2000s, we had him number 2 overall, one of the most elite guards really of a decade. We've seen that with his success as well in the NBA. So if you look at those as the ceiling, obviously Tre Johnson is a tremendous, tremendous prospect. If he's a player that's sitting at number 1 on multiple rankings, that's certainly high praise and a high bar to set. Really liked what he brought to the table. Love his feel. He'll be certainly a guy that you'll be excited to watch at the next level and to see where that goes. And I'm excited to see where his recruitment goes as well. So plenty of things to think about. Again, Chris Beard, Scott Drew, some other guys. They were there to see other guys today, but they certainly laid some eyes on what Tre Johnson brought to the table. But definitely open for the conversation. If you have a suggestion, leave a comment below. While you're there, make sure you like and subscribe this video, subscribe to our channel. Help us out. We'll make sure we keep getting these videos going out to you guys as well every time we're on the road, whether we're home courts in Arizona or Atlanta or wherever our HoopSeen eyeballs are. Let's keep it moving. See what else we got going on at the scrimmage today. I'm trying to look at my notes and figure out where do I want to go next. Let's start with those 4 teams for a second, okay? So here we had Sunrise Christian, we had Link Academy, we had Duncanville, and we had Lake Highlands. All 4 of those teams were within the top 50 of the Ball is Life preseason rankings. And I think those are all justified. I'd probably put Lake Highlands up a little bit higher based on what I've seen from some of the other teams that my friend Ron Flores has in those, because I think the way they defend, the way they guard, very intrigued to see where they go. Sunrise, I'm going to see them quite a bit. Going to see them up in Utah at the 5 for the Fight National Hoop Fest. My friend Travis Haddock has just an absolute stellar field going into that. We'll see Sunrise playing against the likes. We're also having the field is Montverde, AZ Compass Prep. So certainly some big-time matchups right out of the gate coming up here in a couple weeks in the snow-capped mountains of the Wasatch Front. Link Academy, different team this year. Last year they were big, okay? Their front line to me was one of the very best in the country, if not the best. Definitely one of the top 3 in the nation. This year it's a different story. It's guards, great guards, really good guards. So we'll see how that goes with Link Academy. I thought, when you think about what they did and really who stirs the drink, I thought Elliot Cadu does a tremendous job of that. I'm excited to see where he goes with that. The Northeastern guard with some international background there is now, running the show there at Link. I'm excited to see how does he glue it all together. Really good feel, and a guy that I think has got a chance to not only be a top 10 guy, but to continue to level up because of the talent that's around him. For Sunrise, man, I got to be honest with you. The second game, I thought big man John Bull was tremendous. Blocked shots, really made it difficult to score, played above the rim, ran the floor with great ease, great fire, great energy. There's a reason, obviously, why he's so highly rated, and we definitely saw that today. Also loved the play of Scotty Middleton. I've been a Scotty Middleton guy from day one. His ranking kind of goes up and down. I usually tend to lean on the side of up, and I feel that way even stronger today. I really like what he brings to the table. So I'm also excited to see how that team looks in a couple of weeks when I see them again up in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Duncanville, can't leave those guys out, right? So Ron Holland certainly leads the charge, but there's some studs on that team too. KJ Lewis, the Arizona commit, moves over from El Paso, had a couple plays today. I think as he starts to find his feel with this team, I'm excited to see where he fits in and how he plays off the likes of Cameron Barnes, who I think showed some flashes today, the 6'10" available big man. Of course, all their guards, Eric Dimmings, who was the superstar last year at the HoopSeen, or not the HoopSeen, the Hoop Hall West Classic that we saw in Scottsdale last December. So those are the 4 best teams that I saw today. No surprise based on the national rankings. So it's kind of one of those no duh. Thanks for the insight moments there. But let me keep looking at my notes here and see what else we got. Man, we saw a lot this summer in this spring with 3D Empire. Cole Attack. Love him, man. I freaking love him. He played in their 16U team, had tons of success. He's now at Haltom, 6'8", as skinny as a pencil. But, man, that dude can absolutely shoot the leather off of that ball. I thought he was tremendous today. We ranked him really high in our initial rankings, top 50. I'm not sure if too many people have seen him. I know people that are in Texas have seen him and obviously have him rated appropriately. But when you think about ceiling, Attack is one of those guys that I think has as high of an upside as anybody that played at this absolutely loaded event. There's over 100 prospects today, the Division I prospects, I should add. And I thought Cole Attack was one of those special guys from what we saw and exactly what I thought we would see after what we watched him do with 3D Empire on the travel circuit. I thought Dink Pate was awesome today. Really like what he brought to the table. Big wing, big energy, big slasher, a player that I think lived up to his hype without any problems as well. Really like Jaden Shelley of Prestonwood Christian. I mean, really liked him. This is my first chance to really see him up close and personal. You can tell that he's a player that knows exactly who he is and how to do it. So I love what I saw from him. Was definitely one of the top performers of the day. Cameron Carr, I forgot to mention him for Link Academy, talking about those guards. Awesome. Big shot maker, baby face. You know, is he a guy that when I look at players, I was looking at some stats the other day. We were talking about this today with some college coaches about Devin Vassell and his success he's had with San Antonio Spurs. No doubt about it, there's opportunity there. But Devin Vassell is a 20-point per game scorer right now in the NBA. I know it's early. But he went to Peachtree Ridge, 5 minutes away from HoopSeen headquarters in Swanee, Georgia. Never in a million years would I have thought that he would have been a guy that averages 20 points a game. I think Cameron Carr's got a little bit of that. Now, he's rated higher, obviously, being recruited higher, obviously. You know, we know that Devin Vassell went to Florida State, but nobody in their right mind would have pegged him as an ACC guy. Cameron Carr is a high major guy and is being recruited accordingly. Really like what he brings to the table, and I can see why a lot of people like what they've seen from him so far, and I totally get that, totally justified. Obviously, Garrick Norman is a player that we've seen quite a bit. Saw him with Birdville today with the Oregon Ducks looking uniforms, the green and the gold. Certainly played up to his standard. An absolute phenomenal shot maker. And we'll have a lot more on him, Michigan State's class, coming up this week on HoopSeen.com during the early sign-in period. I feel like I can go on and on and on, but we'll keep this relatively short. I want to make sure we got all the thoughts from a really good day at the scrimmage. I'll have more on HoopSeen.com as well as HoopSeen on Twitter. We'll have some more news, notes, photos, and other good stuff coming from the scrimmage. I'd like to thank my friend Kellen Buffington for his hospitality. Really one of the elite human beings in our business. Does a tremendous job. And in this great state of Texas, does an amazing job of bringing everybody together in the Dallas area and having some tremendous basketball. So for our team at HoopSeen.com, I'm Justin Young reporting from Dallas, Texas. We'll see you next time right here on the Just a Minute